Nathan Ellett. March 2, 2020. Has anyone heard any updates from either Jack Lewis Stanton or Tim Cutler regarding the status of in-process signings? Michelle Baxter. Not heard from Jack Lewis Stanton since November. Dustin Luttrell. We were hoping for an update on the update about the update and that didn't come either. Just like my cards. Andrew Davis. Jack has some cards of mine. Can't seem to reach him via Messenger. Does anyone know how I can get in touch so I can get them returned to me? I don't even care about getting the signatures at this point. Guillaume Belly. As I mentioned in another thread, I've had Chan cards out with Jack since January 2017 and would like to know what happened to them. Oddvar Rogstad. One of the problems with this community is that everyone praises the large ones and criticism is frowned upon. I see other agents very active with a lot of issues, but every time someone says something there are many people saying they are so good and get so many cards signed for then yada yada. Just saying, when the next big one falls, and he will fall, we will have this same kind of threads all over again. Tim Cutler. Admin. I haven't had the chance to talk to Jack yet, not sure if I will be able in the next few. Dustin Luttrell. He has the time to run high-profile auctions on the art market group but not to talk to Tim, us, or his page. I wonder how many thousands of dollars we're talking about here. Eduardo Arabers Aguado. I have card of. Darkin. Mark Zug. Franz Vowinkel. Ryan Pancoast. Since a year ago. Rick Pomadoodle. People, Jack will have cards out for a while. It's the artist, not him. Jack's good people, we will all have a good experience with him. He's making a transition now and we should respect that. Charles Love. No, we shouldn't. He is running a business and he isn't doing it properly. It is within our rights as customers to call this out and ask questions. The customers have their money and expensive cards tied up in this. Alex Lewicki. It's terribly unfair to blame the artists for Jack's failure to communicate. Especially when people are missing cards from artists that have already had and returned cards from later signings through other agents. Jack is a nice guy. Being nice doesn't excuse this. Dustin Luttrell. The point of having an agent do signings is to skip the line and the weight of mailing directly. It's literally what we're paying for. Dustin Luttrell. This aged well LMAO. Nathan Ellett. If anyone is actually able to get in contact with Jack, please ask him about making an update post. We would all appreciate it. Dustin Luttrell. Matthew updated his group saying he talked to Jack. Apparently if you have cards with Matt, Jack is sending them to him. I guess to pocket the shipping. Dustin Luttrell. He can't talk about it. LOL, super dope. No photo description available. Nathan Ellett. And his simply refusing. Unbelievable. Rick Pomadoodle. Jeff Clark. So I was going to make a very long post on what to do about Jack. I just literally haven't had time to sit down and write it out. I'm not a lawyer but I do have contact with lots of lawyers. Our best bet is just to get our cards back. We're basically going to have to write off the money. In my opinion and what I think it's happened is Jack, is he took all of our money and essentially ran. If he takes the cards that would really fucking suck also, there's basically nothing we can do unless we come together. But in order to start litigation on them we would have to figure out a lot of information between everyone, and who sent anything into him. We're also battling time. There may or may not be statutes of limitations depending on what kind of litigation we would go with. Rick Pomadoodle. I wanted to write this in my own group because I don't want admins here to keep deleting our posts. The only way we'll be able to get any results is if we all come together. Jack would have to be receptive to just sending our cards back unsigned. Hopefully any amount of money he can send back also would be a bonus. Rick Pomadoodle. It's also difficult because if we go on a witch hunt against Jack he'll just take everything and run. Then everyone loses everything. Like I said, our best bet is just get our cards back. Rick Pomadoodle. Yeah. He has no incentive to do it either. I'll try to get something up but I won't be he person to bring him to court. I believe I'm only out a few hundred with him. Someone who has much more to lose should be the one to spearhead it. Evan Lowther. March 7, 2020. The 3rd of September 20, spoke with Jack on the phone. He promised to provide an update later this week to everyone. Good progress is being made. Thanks, Jack. I managed to get a hold of Alexi Briclot yesterday. I asked him if he was willing to sign some cards for me since the ones I sent through Jack Lewis Stanton hadn't returned yet. Alexi asked me when I shipped Jack the cards for him and I told him, January 2019. Over 14 months ago. Alexi informed me that the last package from Jack was returned in May of 2019. I took this info and asked Jack about it and he has refused to respond. So I'm posting it here to see what other people think. Jack has had the returned cards for 8 months and they have not made their way back to the owners and no answers as to why. Not trying to start anything, but I think the members of this group deserve some answers. Edit, please don't contact the artist. I got lucky and the one I reached out to didn't have a problem with me contacting him. Others might not be the same. There are so many wonderful brokers and artists that support our hobby and it sucks that they are getting the heat for one person's actions.